Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica and I have got a review of this gorgeous new book by Molly Roberts here and also a giveaway. They sent me a copy for myself and a copy to give away, so I'm going to turn the camera around so we can go through and have a proper look at all the gorgeous things that are inside here, and there is a lot in this book. I'll show you what's inside. The cover is really pretty. It's got all these little it's obviously got the rainbow vibe that if you watch Molly's channel then you'll recognize this from lots of her thumbnails, but it's also got these lovely little gold embossed bits as well, so it looks really pretty. If you've got Molly's first book, then you're probably expecting something similar from this one, and in some ways it is similar, but I think this one is actually better, and let me explain and show you why. So the subtitle is 12 Creative Colour Quests for Art Witches. This is very much like an art magic book, but not just that, and I think that it's kind of got a slightly broader appeal perhaps than the first book. So we've got our contents, and you might notice from here that yes, there are like color quests as she calls them, so there's like different chapters with different ideas for projects basically that you can do, but I feel like there's a lot more like actual information that is more relevant, like especially color correspondence information that is more generally relevant for spellcraft with this book. So I really liked it. So we got a welcome and a blessing, which, you know, if you know Molly's work, then she writes really beautifully and you just feel very like warm and nurtured in her presence. So, you know, all of the writing in the book is that kind of vibe. My only criticism of it really is that it is like sometimes, because it's so pretty, it's a little bit kind of hard to read sometimes in places, but maybe that's just me showing my age. So yeah, it's this really beautifully laid out and quite a deep exploration of like what colour is and how colour, you know, because colour is not the meanings of colour, the kind of correspondences that we associate with colour are not necessarily fixed. You know, different cultures at different times have had very different interpretations of colours. She gives the example here of like pink being now is seen as kind of like a Barbie kind of girly kind of colour, whereas previously it was seen as like a kind of symbol of a man's virility, you know, in different cultures, different times. So that I think is really interesting. So it's not like kind of fixed. Sometimes you get like a colour magic book, or usually like in the context of like candle magic or something, it's like you use this colour for this and you use this colour for this. This is not like that. It is exploring the kind of the meaning, the resonance of colour, which is what I really liked. And then she's got some really lovely like creating a wonder oculus, which is basically like a kind of viewfinder, which you can use to kind of put a frame around things so you can look at them in a slightly different way, you know, in that magical way, a little bit like you would do with like a hagstone or something like that. You can see these certain things, and yeah, just some really beautiful inspiration. And then she goes through all the different colors with different kind of energy. They talk about the different energies of the different colors. So you can see that here. And like I thought originally that the book was kind of be like, this is a chapter on red, this is a chapter on orange kind of stuff with the correspondences and maybe some sort of work to do with that particular thing. But it's not that. It's actually much more layered and nuanced and complex than that. You know, they've got information about color theory. So if you're into art, you know, art and art magic, then it's really interesting kind of looking at it through that art magic lens, because she is an artist, you know, she's a trained artist. So there's just so much, which is really, really cool. So these are the quests. So that was kind of like the preamble, kind of thing, the introduction, and these are the quests. And so this is sort of in a similar format to her previous book, to her art magic book, where she takes you through creating different projects basically. And we've got like this gorgeous, there's a mixture of like her doodles and then these gorgeous photographs as well, kind of spiced in. And it's kind of an easy read in some ways because it is so kind of broken up with visual inspiration, visual food as well in this book. But like I said, that's the only criticism I would say, is that it's a little bit, maybe it's just like a little bit small print for me, or a little bit kind of tricky to read just because of the different colours and things and the layers. This one is actually okay. It's when it's on like the more indigo colour pages I struggle with that a little bit more, but like I said, that could well be my eyes. How to make a rainbow scratchboard ring grimoire, which is this kind of first project. Correspondences. This was one of my favourite chapters here. There's also a chapter later on with with interiors as well, which I thought was really interesting. I'm going to flick through the whole thing basically because it's not super long, so you can see basically everything that is in this book. And I am really excited to be able to give a copy of this away as well. The publisher reached out to me to see if I would like to review the book on my channel. And of course I said yes, because I had already bought Molly's first book and enjoyed it. So, you know, it was like a no-brainer to do that. And I think it fits in with what I do here and with what you guys like watching as well, you know, what you guys are into as well. I know a lot of you are journalers and kind of do creative art magic and things like that as well. So there's another thing here, now we're into the kind of the green stuff, the color guide initiation bottle. But like I said, it's not actually like color coded like that. It is color coded so that it looks, let me just do that as like a flick. If I can remember, I'm here in the screen. So it looks like this when you flick through, which is just amazing. But it's not like these are green quests, these are purple quest, you know, it's not like that. Yeah, so this is really cool, this like offering powder as well, which I think is really nice, like making there's some things in here that you won't find in other places. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about a giveaway, I have got a copy of this to give away. When the publisher reached out, they said I can have a copy for me and I can have a copy to give away as well. So I'll have to put like a deadline on that, so I'll leave it till the end of the month. We'll go till the end of April. And if you've watched this video and you'd like to take part in the giveaway, then I'd like you to write a sentence that has got rainbow magic in the sentence, but which isn't necessarily like, I want to win the rainbow magic book. I mean, you could put that but I'd like people to get a little bit more creative with it, you know, and include a little rainbow emoji as well. So a rainbow sentence and a rainbow emoji in the comments. So the words rainbow magic need to be in there and a rainbow emoji to be in the draw. And then I will do the draw at the end of the month and I'll let the person know who is the winner. Stained glass spell cookie. So this chapter is all on food, rainbow feast, which is really, really fun as well. You know, it really does range over quite a lot of different areas. It's not just art projects. You know, I was expecting it to mainly be art projects because that is what the first book was, but it's more wide-ranging than that, which is kind of fun. This is one of my favorite chapters, the design enchanting interiors. I love my interiors. I'm very, like, my home is very, very important to me, and having it just as I like it, with the kind of the vibe and the sort of the magic, the kind of protection, but also the things I keep in my home, you know, is very curated. And so this chapter I thought was really, really interesting. I should say as well, the giveaway is worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I know people always ask me that, is it okay if I'm somewhere else? And yes, of course, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. So there's some ideas here, like, of things you can do in portals, like your doors and your doorways. Yeah, it's just really lovely ideas. Things to do with textiles, things to do with furniture, lighting, which I thought was really nice. You can do, she's got some tips for coloured lights. This chapter was really one of my favourites, because I think mainly because I wasn't expecting it. You know, I was expecting it to be like this art. The first book, Art Magic, was like art magic project. So it was like you were making a kind of piece of art that was magical, you know, it was spells, magic spells in art form. Whereas this is more, like I say, wide ranging. It scatters out over more different areas of your life, you know. It's bringing that rainbow magic, that art magic into your whole life, which is really beautiful, because like that's one of the things I talk about on here a lot, is that weaving that magical with the mundane. And in this book there's so many brilliant ways of doing that. Like here she's on about like glamour and your clothing, and how that you know, we can bring that kind of glamour magic in. I do think there's a mistake in here. This probably isn't Molly, this is probably somebody in the publishers. I feel like they've got these wrong. So in the colour palettes, the seasonal colour palette, it talks about how spring is warm pastel tints, and then summer being cool pastel tones, and it's got this little line, the arrow here going up here to spring, and this one going to here to summer. I think they're the wrong way around. But yeah, you know, it's a small thing, isn't it? I'm literally nitpicking tiny things here because this book is just so beautiful. Look at these as well. This I loved. Astrological colour combinations. I was like, oh, these are so juicy. This is so beautiful. And like, these are things you can apply not just to your clothing as well, to your glamour. You can apply this in other things as well. So like, you know, you could look at like your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, you know, all of the different things, and sort of see, oh yeah, look at the different colours. And I love how like the earthy colours, she's got the the elements here. And then you can see, like, when we get to this, to the signs, it's like combining that idea of the element with the kind of attributes of the sign as well, you know. So yeah, I think it's just really, you can really tell that she has been living this, you know. This is not just something that is like, sometimes when you buy like witchcrafty books, especially from places like The Works and things like that, and sometimes when they're kind of formatted like this as well, in more kind of like easy reading, palatable kind of style, the substance is not there. Whereas with this book, the substance is there. There's loads of things, and it's not even just the projects in the book. Like when I was reading some of these projects, I was thinking, yeah, I probably wouldn't make that, but that's given me an idea for something else that I would make, you know. So it's a springboard as well, and you don't have to do it exactly how, you know, it's stated out in the book. Of course you could just work through all the projects, which would be really cool. So this is all about kind of like sleep in the dream world. She's got a dream travel latte. So do you see what I mean about it kind of like going in different directions that I wasn't expecting, basically. A chroma oracle, I thought this was a nice idea as well. Creating an oracle, a color oracle, basically. Yeah, really cool. Lots of different, and even though it says 12 quests, there's way more than like 12 things in this book. There are so many things in here, and like I said, a lot of them, when I read them, I was like, oh yeah, and then you could do this as well, you know. They're really good inspiration for other things as well. It's that whole kind of ethos of like being creative, embracing color, embracing correspondences into your daily life, and then you can start to see how that can like just tumble out into all these other areas as well, which is really cool. So we've got charms here, elixirs, rainbow nectar soap, a soothing milk bath, you know, this really. So this is the apothecary chapter, which I thought, yeah, it's just all really nice. And I think it's the major projects are the ones that I'm not so much interested in. It was more the kind of like the littler ones leading up with like, I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. But obviously these things are really cool as well. They're just like a little bit more kind of full on, I suppose. And meditations here. Visual journeys. Yeah, these are nice as well. So these are more like kind of inner journeys and using color in that way as well, which is really beautiful. So kind of like, yeah, they are meditations, but more visualizations, I suppose. Yeah, really nice. I didn't read through all of those. And then at the back, we've got some resources. So the color wheel, one in the sleep chapter, there's a dream mask project. So that's the template for that. And then, yeah, just some like nice little things at the end. I think she's got some thank yous, yeah, and the index, so you can look things up as well. So it seems like a very sort of short and sweet read, but I actually think it is very rich. There is an awful lot in here, and like I said, there's an awful lot of inspiration that will take you beyond what is in here as well. It's a wake up, you know, it's a color magic explosion, a rainbow magic explosion into a different, like a way of seeing things, which is, I think that's the coolest thing about it, the really, really lovely thing about it. So if you're interested in any kind of spellcraft, really, I think this would be really, really useful. But especially if you are into art magic in any way at all, then this would be a really, really lovely book. It would also make a really lovely gift, I think, as well. If you have got like an art witch in your life, then that's like a no-brainer gift, because it is so beautifully presented. But like I said, I think more substance, like it is very stylish, you know, and sometimes people are like, oh yeah, there's more style than substance. This is definitely not a case of that. There is an awful lot of substance in here, even though it is so like just prettily presented as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. Have you bought it yet? Have you seen it yet? And if you'd like to enter the giveaway, then you know what you need to do. You need to weave in a sentence with rainbow magic and leave a little rainbow emoji in the box as well, in the comment box, and I will do the draw at the end of April 2024, and I will notify the winner after that. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Warmest blessings, and I will see you very soon.